Welcome to Crones and Coffee with Lori and Kate, a podcast about spirituality. Real, raw, and authentic, and lots of laughs. Hey Kate, how's it going?
Great.
We're doing something a little different today.
Lori took a field trip.
I did, and I took some photos, you guys, so if you normally just listen to this, you might want to take a few minutes just to peek and see the beautiful pictures and video I took. We are on location today, or off location. How would I say that?
You have entered my realm.
Yeah, we're not in our usual studio spot, and we're using different equipment. And I think we're going to stick with this equipment because the quality seems to be so much better. But anyways, today we're talking about sanctuaries and sacred spaces. And we're literally sitting outside in the middle of the woods on Kate's property, and it is amazing. Amazing space. We're sitting on a stage.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I feel like I've invited you all into my subconscious mind. Welcome.
It is the coolest place. And while we were sitting here kind of preparing for this episode, I thought, oh my God, how amazing would it be to have a sound bath with my bowls here on the stage, people sitting amongst each other, like-minded people in the woods, just listening to music. Kate will probably sing. Okay, we're planning this, so stay tuned for that. We won't do it this year because it's, the end of the season, not enough time to plan properly, whatever. Weather, yada, yada, yada. So we're probably going to do something like that in the spring, early summer.
I'm not opposed to, sometimes it is fun. You get a certain clientele of people that don't mind being a little uncomfortable in the cold, and like November doing an evening type thing with a bonfire and cider. So maybe like a little pregame for next year.
Maybe if we could pull it off. And I want to throw this out there because I'm excited. November 1st, Mystic Market has been open for 1 year.
Woohoo! Happy birthday.
Can you believe it already?
I can.
1 year
Awesome.
On November 1st.
Congratulations.
So, thanks.
Also, she's probably not going to mention it, but you probably saw in her group she got finalists for 2 categories in Best of New Hampshire. And I'm a horrible friend and was sidelined and forgot. And and then I remembered, and I was like, oh my God, we all need to be like, congratulations. Because honestly, too, like your patrons and your support system, I think also should be congratulated as well.
Oh, they should be thanked because they're the ones that were voting for me. Yeah. So thank you. And
come see why. Come figure it out. Come be a part of it.
I'm actually going to awards dinner on September 25th to accept the award. So I'm excited about that.
It kind of falls in line with our theme today too, because in a sense you created your own sanctuary to share with the public. So like when I have 2 sanctuaries. I have my home here, which is the harbor in my life, and then I have a little dinghy called Prayers of Nature in a mill where I go out.
It's a nice dinghy,
and it's that is also a sanctuary that I've created. So when I'm out in public, I have like this little like lifesaver out there that I can run to. But I know what it's like to open your own shop. It's like an extension of yourself. You're sharing another part of yourself with people.
Yeah.
So even though we're not there today, it's still another sanctuary. Yeah. I got to watch you start from scratch.
I know. You were my biggest cheerleader.
Do it.
So sanctuaries, like if I were to look that up in the dictionary, like Liz Place, literally, like I can't express what I'm feeling out here in words that would make sense.
Well, where you're sitting right now, too, is pretty important to bring up because this stage has had several artists and musicians and sound healers on it already. And so I feel like every time, it's almost like the land wants it. When I moved here, Aaron expressed that to me. He's like, he's been holding community events here since the 90s. We've had like 300 to 500 people on the property at once.
Wow, you old.
Yeah, Aaron is, not me. So Aaron used to have a lot back in the 90s when raves were like underground out of Boston.
Oh my God, yeah.
People from Boston who were part of the underground rave scene would come out here and they would have raves right here in the woods.
That's
But
awesome.
before that, in the 60s, a lot of sound healers, a lot of hippie stuff was going on this land trust. So there's always been community with the intent of sharing, with the intent of healing. And I do believe that's left a funk on the property. And a lot of people who come here I just sit back and watch and let them observe. And everybody has a different reaction, but it's usually always overwhelmingly positive.
It is even walking. So like Kate's property, there's no driveway, so you have to walk through like this trail through this magical forest. And right now we're kind of on the cusp of all the leaves turning. So as we're walking, there's like leaves falling.
There's leaves falling all around us now.
There's leaves falling all around us now, and it's obviously the New England colors, and it's like I walked into a fairy realm. It's so magical, you guys. And again, if you typically only listen to this, I would, try and take a few peeks, because I'm going to throw some photos and some video in there of the surrounding, so that you can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. But when we talk about sacred spaces, like, this is it. It doesn't always have to be like this grandiose building and like a church, right? That's a sacred space. Like, they usually are big, giant, elaborate, stained glass windows and carved this and carved that. It's like we're literally sitting in the middle of the woods experiencing this amazing grounding, healing energy, and the sun is shining, and the sky is blue. There's birds chirping, leaves falling all around us.
There might be an airplane.
I was just going to say that because I kind of hear one off in the distance.
Well, that one's not bad.
Bit,
Sometimes we could privately own airplanes. That's the one that really grinds my gears. But,
you might hear some like really loud bangs. There's a crap ton of acorns falling. We're actually in a pretty safe place where we're sitting.
Here
so,
will be all right.
But just looking around here at the land, it really feels like this magical fairy realm. There's wind chimes hanging, and just the whole layout is amazing. So, when you think sanctuary, again, you don't have to have this like elaborate building to consider it a sacred space. It could be a tiny little table in the corner of your house. I have a corner in my house that when I feel like I'm getting crazy brain and, anxiety and panic I struggle with, and I take a breath and I go sit in my corner. I put myself in timeout.
No one puts Lori in a corner.
And I have, a statue of the triple moon goddess, and a lot of things that are connected to nature. Like I have rocks and crystals and feathers, and I have a deer antler. I have a mason jar full of moon water. So it's a very simple setup at my home, but it's a place that I feel is sacred and safe, that I can go visit when I'm feeling crazy brain. And anyone can have that. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm not out of the broom closet. I don't want people to know that I'm into this stuff. So put all your stuff in a drawer in your house and open that drawer and sit in front of it.
Right, we were going to do a whole episode on altars at one point.
Yeah.
Should do that maybe next or something.
Yeah.
Because I found too, like growing up, I didn't know it at the time, but I look back on it now. I was making altars everywhere. When I bought my first apartment, I had like certain little shelves and like all these little reasons why I had them where they were. And I just thought I was being like an interior designer.
Right?
Now, guess what? You're creating little altars everywhere. If you read that book, that's a good book.
That's, I used to do that. My meme, she lived in Dunstable, Mass, on this big farm. It was farmland. They had animals and a barn and a tree farm and crops of food, and us kids, all the cousins, we'd go there all the time, and we'd literally outside all day. Back in the day, I'm old. We didn't have cell phones.
Well, same.
We didn't have video games.
This is how I grew up, actually. I grew up in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the only way my parents told me to come home is honking the car horn. That's how they would do it. I'd be very far away in the woods, and I could hear, wah, wah, and I'm like, oh, time to come home.
Time to come home. Yeah, we'd come home when the street lights came on.
Yeah.
Because we knew it was time for dinner.
I didn't have any friends that lived nearby. They were all at least 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
I had no... But I grew up in this environment, and so when I moved in with Aaron, I was like, I could totally do this the rest of my life. Yeah. I don't need to live in an apartment. I was like, this is... You saw my home. It is not a lap of luxury. So my house is like...
It's a sanctuary. It looks like Baba Yaga's house.
It's slapped together by a bunch of hippies. I don't have a bathroom. I don't have a shower. Like, I don't live...
She has a bathroom. It's just not a conventional bathroom.
This is the luxury, though, is what I'm getting at. This is what...
Because I used the bathroom when I got here, and I definitely peed on a toilet, or in a toilet.
It was a composting toilet.
That was probably more than our listeners wanted to know.
Well, I think the best way to describe this place is like luxurious camping.
Yeah.
It's like camping.
Glamping.
It's glamping because everyone's like, how do you get internet? Because there's no wires, you see. Everything's underground.
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of a drought, so like we're hauling water, and I accidentally leaked all the rainwater out of the tank a week ago. So you definitely live a certain way, but the luxury here, what makes this
sucks because we're in a drought.
Yes.
So
right. But what makes this place so, I think, appealing is the luxury of the nature.
Absolutely.
This is priceless to me. Being able to look around and all you see are trees every day. I don't have to leave here if I don't want to.
It's like trees and ferns and hills and rocks and oh my God, it's awesome, you guys. I can't even. I might camp here.
You can.
I have a tent.
So we do have events here, so there is opportunities to come see it and participate. If you're a sound healer, if you're a musician, if you're a performer, I've had dancers here, I've had interpretive dance here, like whatever we can accommodate.
Oh my God, I wonder if Jen would do her Broken Arrow event here.
Oh yeah, you know what she's done here actually? Jen Hutzig from, I forget her brand name. Ancient Pathways. She came here and did sacred drumming in that bay window. She did, I think, at least an hour nonstop.
Wow.
Sacred drumming, and we recorded it here.
Could she do fire walking here?
I'm sure.
Glass walking?
I know she likes to do it from her own home.
Yeah. We were going to do glass walking at Mystic Market, but we didn't have enough room because you need a pretty big space for the glass walking. But
yeah, we are open to unconventional things. It's actually we are limited. The land is slanted, so it's not flat in a lot of places, which can be a problem.
But looking out, like people can go there, people can sit there.
Mm-hmm. I've had vendors here. I think the most I've had, I hosted 18 bands in one day.
Maybe we could do a pagan fair.
It'd be fun. Just gotta be careful with the walk. The only problem is if you're handicapped.
Yeah.
It is difficult. If you're handicapable, whatever, I apologize, whatever word, if you are not physically able to walk a trail sometimes, but we can accommodate, within reason.
Of course.
We've tried to help people with that. So there are limitations with the weather and...
Of course, yeah.
But...
When you have anything outside...
When it's a beautiful day, it's like you can't ask for anything more. And, Lori's was... Getting back to sanctuary, I think I was telling her when she got here, I wanted, it was very important for me to show her one part of my trail, because I wanted her to know that, like, of all the people in my life I wanted to share this with was Lori. Like, I stood there and I said, you see this image? This was the image I had in my mind's eye before I even got here. So I feel like I created this sanctuary within myself first. Mm-hmm. When I needed it most.
Yeah.
And then...
That's the whole point of manifesting, right?
Years later, I meet Aaron, and he brings me down this trail, and I'm like, this looks like what was in my meditation years ago.
Did you get, like, a deja vu feeling?
Oh, the hair? Yes. No, but it also felt like... This was shortly after my trauma, right? So I had, like, a concussion. I had, like, all these weird things going on. So I was getting used to the feeling of surrealism.
Yeah.
And I was getting used to these, like, I was becoming sober from alcohol. So I'm, like, waking up. So, like, I was like, oh, here I am. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. I've arrived. Now my life can start at 33 years old.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's good because some people don't get to that realization.
Well, I felt very lucky. I felt very lucky. So I was like, you know what? After getting comfortable with Aaron for a year and realizing he worked in audio engineering and I love entertainment.
Match made in heaven.
Let's build a stage, and why don't I just, all the musicians I meet in life at these festivals that we've been going to, why don't we just invite them over, offer to record them? And yeah, they have to carry their gear. They have to, at the time, use an outhouse. You know, this isn't like like a high-end recording studio. This is about as gritty as it's going to get. And those were the most interesting people, because if you go to festivals, it's pretty gritty, right? So like they're pretty equipped for this stuff.
Absolutely.
So I've had a lot of interesting musicians here. Probably one of the most unique was a sobahar player, which is like a sitar, but a different, it's in a different key. So he played, if you don't know what a sobahar is, it looks like it's a huge harp that you have in your lap. It's like from India. It's an Indian, like when you think of the Beatles and you think of when they went to India and like all those weird twangy sounds and like tranquil sounds. My friend Brian plays that, and he's played that here a few times.
So you got my brain thinking. So I don't know if I can say this or not. Well, I'm gonna.
You can edit it out, baby.
Do you know Garish?
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so I contacted him.
Yeah.
He's gonna come play at my studio.
I'm so excited.
He should come here.
He should
too.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
I would love that.
So when it gets closer and I talk to him and get his schedule, it wouldn't be until the spring.
That's totally. No, I prefer it because
next year, spring, obviously.
Yeah.
But I actually got to converse with him, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I can always be.
Nothing is in stone yet. It's when it gets closer, we're gonna reconnect again. We have each other's phone numbers now, so we're gonna work it out when he's back on this end of the world, because he lives in California. So and I have like a girl crush on him, so I like a girl fan. What is the term? Fangirled on him. When I met him the first time, I was standing there all doughy-eyed waiting for him to sign my CD. That tells you how long ago I saw him, so he could sign my CD I bought.
Well, always, like whatever Mystic Market can conjure up, you're more than welcome to use this. That's what it's for. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't done anything on this property at all this summer. It's my first time in 10 years not doing anything here. And
I think, that's, an amazing thing about us too, is we both own very similar businesses. Whether you like to admit that or not.
I just never know what I am sometimes, because I don't commit at the level you do. I'm not as...
but we work together.
Yes.
And there has never been like cattiness or jealousy, or we've always lifted each other up. And I think if you're truly walking this path and you have a store or a business like this, that's what it's all about, is working together as a community.
Well, now when you succeed, I'm like, yay! I'm like, I don't want to see my friend fail. I want to see her like get it.
But I think in this community there is a lot of
people are just jealous.
Jealousy.
I get jealous though, but I get jealous of musicians. So this is. I'm like, no, this is great. But you watch me in the music world, look out! I get real green eyes. At least I could talk about it, though. I don't hide it.
Right.
I just say it. I walk up.
But I think being in a spiritual realm, I guess you shouldn't be like that.
Well, you could call each other out so fast.
To be like
you know what I mean?
Right.
You could recognize it so quick.
It's like, we should be working together, not against each other. Like, the whole point is to spread this, like, I don't want to sound like so cliche about spreading the light or hope or whatever, but because reality is not everything is unicorns and rainbows. There is dark and crap too. And I'm not about all light and love, because that's just not reality. Mm-hmm. But you try your best to be better and do better and offer a different perspective, so that that jealousy does rear its ugly head. You're like, whoa, hold on a minute. What's really going on? And we're totally getting off topic.
It's okay,
here,
we always do. We'll find a way back.
I was watching on Facebook, someone posted something, and this woman went off, and she's like, that triggered me. And I'm like, I have a problem with this, and I know you were just talking about being triggered, and it's not.
Well, it's a hot
you.
word. It's a hot word.
It is a hot word, but nobody triggers you.
Right.
You trigger yourself.
Correct. I do agree as someone who gets triggered.
because you have trauma you haven't
yes
100% healed from. But the fact this woman was blaming somebody else.
You can be triggered, but still, right, yes, I see what you're saying.
So that woman posting did not
You just keep
trigger
scrolling.
her.
You just keep scrolling.
Right, but she didn't physically go into her body and raise her blood pressure and put thoughts in her brain and made her heart beat faster or breathe heavier, or she did that to herself because
It's a leaf.
because nobody controls you but you. So the only way she was triggered is because she allowed it.
I was going to say, that was one of my favorite quotes, is you teach people how to treat you, you know?
Right. So I guess my point is, be mindful of that. If you're getting triggered, it's not because of what someone said or did. It's because you have shit you haven't healed from fully yet.
Your unresolved issues.
And that's not a bad thing to admit that you have trauma that you haven't healed from yet. It just should be you stopping practicing mindfulness in your sanctuary. Why did that upset me so much? Like, ask yourself those tough questions. Because I get triggered with things too.
You know what it reminded me of? Have you ever watched, what was the show with Steve Urkel, Family Matters?
Did I do that?
Yeah, Carl Winslow. Carl Winslow had like this anger problem, right? His character. So he lied to his family and told them he was going to therapy. And he would be like, oh yeah, whenever I'm feeling angry, this is what I have to do. And he made this up. He was lying to his family at the time, as it was revealed at the end of the show. But he would say, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? And he said, I'm supposed to say it 3 times, and by the end of it, I'm supposed to feel better. Right. And of course, by the end of the episode, he sees Steve Urkel, and he just yells, "You drive me crazy!" You just reminded me of Carl Winslow.
That's too funny. but it's true, and I still trigger too, and I'm like, oh, because I practice mindfulness all the time, and I'm teaching it at the studio. So I take a minute, and I'm like, whoa, why am I triggered? That person didn't trigger me. I triggered me because it's something I thought I was healed from, but I'm not, obviously. So now I got to go back and work on whatever triggered me. So that's when I take a moment. I practice my mindfulness. I go to my sanctuary, wherever that may be at the time, and I kind of pull myself in and say, okay, what needs to be worked on today, Lori? Because you obviously still have crazy head, crazy thoughts, we're always a work in progress. But I think having that sanctuary to be able to retreat to reground you.
Yeah. It's like any practice, I think for me, when I had like an epiphany and aha moment in my recovery, is that I'm actually never going to avoid being uncomfortable. I have to learn how to manage myself when I'm uncomfortable. As a big thing with PTSD is like, you can't blame everybody for your triggers. You can acknowledge you're having triggers, but the blame is where, you're right. It's like, I'm going to be triggered no matter what, but how I manage myself and what my responsibility is.
Right. It's how you react to that trigger.
Yeah. And I had to practice this just the other day.
I know.
I had someone sit right next to me. Like, I won't go into the nitty gritty of it, but the context was I was like, making sure I wasn't going to cross paths with certain individuals, I'm like, I'm going to go to this meeting. I'm going to be really excited about this meeting and this new project. And I'm even going to make sure the people who trigger me aren't there. And I was told that they wouldn't be there. And I'm like, that's great. Guess what?
Oh, no.
One of them was. And they sat right next to me.
Oh.
And I'm sitting there in this like really like professional town situation with like all these people around, losing my mind inside. I turned bright red. Okay, my aunt could see me. My aunt's a town clerk, and she's like, wow, you're real red. I'm like, yeah, that's because I'm not murdering anybody right now.
Right.
So I'm just going to sit in your office until those people leave, and I kept my cool. But I came home right after. I got in my car and drove home. And
did you reground yourself?
I found
in your
an
sanctuary.
Yes, yes, but I found a smarter way to express myself to the people directly through email instead of losing my mind in the meeting.
Good.
I did a discretionary. I was able to calm myself because of my meditation practices, and
It's awesome.
You know, I've come here and I'm like, I don't want to have egg on my face. I want people to take me seriously, and I'm not going to do that if I lose my here.
Right.
So I'm going to go home and write a very smart, articulated, mature, accusatory letter.
See, and that's really amazing because...
And it was well received. It was respected, and I was honored, and now I feel much better. But
see, when you take a breath...
Yes.
And just calm down for a minute and gather yourself, reground, recenter, then you can have a conversation with someone. Because I don't know where we, as a society, all of a sudden, like, we're so reactive about... You post a picture of a rock and people lose their freaking minds. Like, here's a rock. No, it's a pebble.
I don't even want to know what it's like. People who like to parent other people's kids and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God.
I don't know where we became the society. Maybe we were always like that and we just now have an outlet where we're seeing it more.
I think we're just more around. We're more aware of each other than we have been.
You can't have an opinion without someone like losing their shit over it. It's like, really? Like, why are you so mad about a leaf? Like, like, calm down, you know? I don't know. It's like, I remember a time, back in my day, I remember a time you could have an opinion and no one cared.
Still be your friend.
And still be your friend.
It's
still
tough right
like you.
now. It's the election year too.
It is.
I'll just say it.
Crazy
And everybody's on edge.
And it's like, God forbid you mention either one of the candidates.
Don't laugh at anything.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry. That's all I've been doing is laughing. That's all I can do.
They eat the dogs.
That was the longest dragged out. What was that? A wheeze?
Listen, I'm suffering from allergies right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry. Don't cancel me. I'm sorry.
My eyes are itchy. I've been like phlegmy. Again, probably more than our listeners wanted to know. But so I'm having this like, when I laugh, I sound like a dirty old man.
You got a little friend.
Oh, be careful with the spikes because those are.
They poke,
there's a little bug thing, caterpillar guy here. They
Do they sting, right?
It does sting.
It's
it
not
can
just
cause
me.
a rash. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna move you, guy. Go in the hole. Ah! That was
We're safe.
that was Kate and I trying to move a spiky caterpillar without touching it, and we picked a leaf up to put it on, and it kind of like did a twerk.
Popped up in our face.
And it scared the crap out of both of us.
Oh,
It's
man.
gone now. It's safe. We didn't smash it.
Our
We just moved
sanctuary
it.
is safe.
We just moved him. He's gonna live a long caterpillar life,
He's fine.
however long that is.
Under my stage.
But anywho,
So speaking of like fairylands and this being a sanctuary, my buddy Rick Fitzgerald, in like 2018, he's like, I want to dress you up as a fairy and take pictures of you in your forest.
yeah.
And I said, okay. So there's pictures of me. I have like this big wig on. I'm running around with my kitten head wig. And he photoshopped some funny things. He enlarged Hedwig and photoshopped him under the stage and put
And
fangs
who's
on him.
Hedwig?
My cat.
Okay.
We got
Just
two
so
cats.
our listeners know.
Yeah. So I have to say, not everybody has the privilege of this, you know, of having a sanctuary that's fully immersed in the woods.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So whatever people can do to create a space for themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I've had some witchy girlfriends that had like 1-bedroom apartments, and they've done wonders with a little corner
Yeah.
of a room.
Yep.
You know, you can get real creative with the small amount of space and what you want to include in it and what you do in it, you know. What you do. I like to create. I get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning and sit in there in my cabin. I call it the vortex.
Yeah.
My creative vortex. This is another vortex right here.
Yeah.
It's like that's the inlet, this is the outlet.
Yep.
And I would sit in that bay window and do yoga there
Nice.
and recognize that we didn't have enough room to host inside because we were expanding our community. And so I would visualize a stage here.
Yeah.
And so I finally came up with the idea. I said, Aaron, I'd really like a stage. We could do yoga on it. You know, it doesn't have to just be for musicians. So
It's awesome.
at that point, I had quite a bit of community members. I had probably about a constant flow of like 30 to 50 people that would participate in some way or another. And so we had a couple weekends where they came and volunteered and brought the materials down.
That's awesome.
Helped build this.
That's awesome.
So I then told them then they could play on it. I'm like, if you help me build a stage, you could perform on it. I'll put you on it. I'll promote you, all that.
Yeah.
So that was the
That's
reciprocity there. So now it's had a year to rest.
It's a good place.
Yeah, you like it. Yeah.
I'm digging it
Yeah.
a lot.
We're probably going to do something for Halloween. I usually have like a private party for Halloween.
Cool.
We light the bonfire and do stuff.
Nice.
We've had big bonfires over here with all the debris from ice storms, because it's actually probably the most scary here in an ice storm.
Oh, I bet. I didn't even think of that.
I had this tree here, the branch. There was another branch that bounced into the dining room window while I was sitting at it. That was terrifying. Listening to Lord of the Rings on headphones in an ice storm with no power to lamps, and I'm painting.
Oh,
and they're talking about like Mordor and trolls.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I hear crash, boom, and this branch just comes flying at my face.
You're like trolls.
Yeah. And I didn't do anything. Everything fell around me.
Oh my god.
So yeah, this place is pretty treacherous in the winter. It's got its beauty though. When you wake up after a first snow and it's quiet.
Yeah.
And there's snow. It's like I'm in a snow globe. It's beautiful here in the winter. I don't hate snowstorms. I hate ice storms. Are scary.
Yeah.
Because that trail in an ice storm.
I'm not quite as out in the woods as you are, but our whole backyard is woods. There's no houses.
You got a nice little stream in the back too.
So so it's the same. It's like that first snowfall when it's like deafeningly quiet.
I love it.
I love that too.
Love it.
Yeah, and that's a sanctuary to me too, because we have like a 3-seasoned porch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a beautiful home.
We sit out there at night, and we've got the lights wrapped around the canopy,
and you have a backyard where like it's just woods behind you. You don't share it. Yeah,
just woods. And it's so, I love just going out there and closing my eyes and listening when it's dark.
Yes.
Because you can hear like the frogs,
We
like
got
the
peepers
peepers,
down there.
And every now and then we'll hear owls.
We got an owl. Bats.
Yeah, we have bats, and we've got deer and bear and all kinds of stuff.
We get the raccoons. That's what I named our when I came out with my EP. I wanted to come up with a record label name. You just come up with your own publishing company, and we named ours Raccoon on the Porch.
Nice.
Because we always had raccoons on the porch, and I wrote a song about it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I like the raccoons. It's sad because I want them all the time, but I know they're not good for my home.
Yeah.
But I want to cuddle them and let them in the house.
My husband calls them trash pandas.
Yeah, they look with their little hands and they look at me like, "Give me treats."
And do you have a YouTube channel for Darling Hill?
Yes, I do actually. Yes, I do.
Okay, so you'll have to send me that link. So I'll link it in the description of this podcast so people can subscribe.
Yeah, it's mostly my music that you see. But
and make sure you guys subscribe to our channels if I link them in the description, because it does help.
Yeah, I have like nobody on my dog. So. I don't have many YouTube subscribers. I don't try, but I will next year once I start.
But so I'll link it. So make sure you send it to me so that our listeners can subscribe and check out your channel.
Yeah.
She's got, I don't know if we probably have talked about this before. She got an album.
Yeah. So, I mean, so my sanctuary is Darling Hill. Darling Hill is my band name. So it kind of goes together. And you could, if you follow my Darling Hill music pages on social media, you will see my home, because there's footage of me on the deck. There's footage of me in my creative space with my piano and my cat. So if you want to see more intimate moments in this space, we didn't really touch on this in the beginning, but I do live in a unique community. It was a land trust that was founded in the 70s. So my home is really weird looking in that the people that create
Pink Baba Yaga. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was a bunch of hippies getting weird in the woods. And
I'm half expecting chicken legs to come out of the ground.
Well, I've told Aaron before, I'm like, my house is a pet. We have to maintain it. Every year there's something that needs to be done to it. We need to fix it up in one corner. We need to chop something down. We need to patch it up. It moves a lot, so we're constantly having to prop it up in some spots and support it in others.
It is on stilts, guys.
Yeah. So, if you want to see what that looks like, I forget I live the way I do, and I have like I don't consider Lori a normie. Okay, so she's not like shocked by the way I live. But I've had, quote, normies, you know, people who live in like suburban homes and stuff, walk in my house and their jaw just drop and be like, I can't believe, like in a good way. They're like, I can't believe you live like this. So I'm like, I know. Why?
Right.
Why? Why? Where have you been? You know, and I forget that I lived in a suburban home for a while, and I forget like how uncomfortable I was there and how sterile it felt and like institutionalized and like ticky-tacky and like just like everybody else, and no flavor, no colors, no seasonings. Right. Here it's gritty, but it's at least got, I have a reason to get up every day because I need to get water. I need to make sure the wood is fed. Yeah. You know, there's like, it's almost like a mildly living like a farmer. I'm not going to say I'm a farmer because that doesn't do them justice, but I definitely have to plan my day according to weather, you know, according to what the house needs and what we need. We can't leave it too long in the winter, else the pipes freeze because we only have one pipe.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
It's weird in a good way.
Yeah, come see it, guys.
It really is awesome. But, you know, when I do think of, like, outdoor sanctuaries, like, this is what comes to mind, seriously. Mm-hmm. I'm not just saying that because I'm here sitting in it.
We wouldn't be the first. So when this community was originally founded, it was affiliated with a medicine story. He was pretty much the guru of the area.
What does that mean, medicine story?
That's his name. So there was when this place was founded, there was another community up the street that was heavily influenced by like Native American culture. Oh, okay. And one gentleman was named Medicine Story. Oh. And he would facilitate sweat lodges in prison systems. Oh. And he was a published author. And so he would come here a lot. He was part of this community, and he came specifically where we're sitting and told the community that specifically this household in this 100-acre lot, this part had the best ley lines.
Interesting.
That this place, because of the wind and the way it goes down into the valley, this was the he felt this was a resonating space. Mm-hmm. And so he passed away a couple years ago, but he was one of the more influential members back in the 70s and 80s here. Mm. And people to this day still kind of know who he is if you name drop him in certain healing circles, specifically for his work in the prison systems. Yeah. I've met a lot of ex-convicts that changed their life because of him. Yeah. So he would, we have a sweat lodge we did down the hill there that was created by him, and the community would use that sweat lodge, but we had to take it down because it became infested with rodents and stuff. But this community was fostering good vibes.
It's a healing. Mm-hmm. It really is a place of healing because, you know, my husband and I hike, and we've been to some places and I'm like,
heebie-jeebies. Yeah.
There's this, I forgot the name of the trail. Crap. It was one of the 4Ks we did, but there's this section that it's all this weird looking pine. It's not the tall, skinny pine trees. It's like the lower ones. I don't know what they're actually called. But it's like and a lot of them were dead and not thriving. And we get to this section and it was like nothing. No birds chirping anymore.
Creepy.
Like silence. And we're walking, and my husband's like, stops, and he's like, he's not into all of this stuff like we are.
Yeah.
So for him to notice,
right? Yep.
You know, he stopped, and he's like, dude, the hair on the back of my neck, and I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah.
He's like, and listen, and so now I'm like, my ears are like, you know, bats. I'm trying to like get this radar hearing going, and I'm like, I don't hear anything. He goes, exactly. Like, there's no
absence
birds.
of sound. Yes.
Like, it was the weirdest thing.
I've had that happen here.
And as soon as we got out of that little, like, weird pine grove, whatever it was, the birds are chirping again, and we could hear wind. Like, it was so
little stagnant area.
Like, and it felt weird. Like, I didn't feel good in that section. So I don't know the history or anything. I can't remember the name of the trail. But it was one of the 4Ks we did, and we haven't done many, so I might have to ask my husband. If I figure it out, I'll shove the name in the video. But it was a creepy, and it was a loop, so, you know, we had to come back through it, and it was the same. when we came back through it. And this is hours later.
Yep.
So
Something's left a funk there.
Yeah. So walking through here, I didn't get any of that because we had to walk through a trail to get to the place we're sitting now. And I feel so at home here and comfortable here.
I do a lot of rituals here.
And I'm thinking forest bathing.
Yes.
Like we are literally doing that right now.
Yes, we are.
And it's so
Good.
renewing and recharging.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm glad you suggested we did an episode.
I've been wanting you in my woods.
I know.
I'm like, I need her soul here.
She's been wanting me here for like forever.
I just feel like you would there's something magical, you would resonate with it.
Absolutely.
And you would want to I like to share it with people. I call myself a gatekeeper. People before me shared this land.
Yeah.
People after me will share this land. I get the privilege of deciding who walks down my trail.
Yeah.
I do have moments where I've had people here that I don't want here, and that's difficult because I do feel like it's that they're allowed to be here. Maybe it will help them. You know, so I've had to extend that to people.
I've had that at Mystic Market.
Yes. So it's like, it's my sanctuary first. And I after doing this for 10 years, I cultivated a community of people that I held very dear, but I also had to at some point remind them that this was my home, and that is probably the hardest part about this, is that I invite people into my sanctuary. So I'm responsible for asking them to leave as well if they make me uncomfortable.
Yep. I've had to do that too.
Yeah. So
unfortunately,
it being my home, it makes me feel very vulnerable to people who may want to take the acorns. The acorns. See, the land doesn't like it either. They're like, yeah, those people don't belong here. Typically, though, I don't think I've had anybody disrespect my boundary here yet.
Yeah.
I've had to definitely break up some friendships because people wanted to tell me how to live my life and how to operate my sanctuary. And I've had to kindly ask them to just go home.
Yeah. Well, and I think it is, I don't want to say it's different, too, at Mystic Market because I am a business. This is your home.
Yep.
But
it's the same.
On the same level,
it's still sanctuary to you.
I have created a sanctuary for the community. So it's also my responsibility as a leader to make sure that everyone that walks through my door feels safe.
Right.
And if there are individuals that bring a certain energy that haven't been able to heal, I have to then step up and say, look, we're not the right place for you. Yeah. I wish you luck on your journey and no hard feelings. But, and unfortunately, in the short time I've been open, I've had to do that.
It's like moth to a flame sometimes when you're new. They want to test you. They want to, a new person,
Right. It's just the energy is wrong or whatever.
For me, it was a lot of the substance abuse. So this unfortunately, this community has some infamy with it's a hippie community.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of experimenting going on. And unfortunately, it's influenced some some people in a negative way where they never took control of it and they become alcoholics. And so sometimes I'm an alcoholic, right? I'm recovered, but I'll still attract the nature of just live music will attract people that think they can come here and party. Yeah. And so for like 3 years I had to contend with, no, this is not a party space. We're playing live music, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's so you can experience live music in a way that's healthy.
Right.
Like the whole reason why I'm sober is because I play music.
Right.
So if I play music and you come here and you're completely shit-faced, it's not working. The music, the magic isn't working. Right. It's like, so like I don't mind a glass of wine or a beer, but like when people come with the intention of just
losing it.
Yeah, like I'm like that. Then we're done. Yeah. Then I'm not fulfilling the purpose.
Right.
It's missing the mark. So
of course,
that was something I had to like figure out as a musician and an ex-alcoholic. Is like, where do I blur the line? Because like it almost goes hand in hand with bars and open mics. Yeah. How do you get people to come here?
Well, and so if you're angling it more on a spiritual experience, alcohol and drugs are low vibrational.
Absolutely.
So there's that.
Yep.
That angle, I guess you could. Look at your sanctuary.
When if you're not receptive in a healthy way,
right?
I'm not opposed to, and I'll speak candid, psychedelics or even marijuana, because in my experiences those aren't as much of a downer. Like there's something to be said for that. However, there are times and places for it.
Of course. Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to have a family-friendly event with like sound healers and people tripping on acid. Please.
Exactly.
We go to the festivals for those things.
That's a different sanctuary.
But as a creative healer, I would be remiss not to mention the healing powers of those.
Yeah.
Those to me are more conducive to healing and creativity than, say, alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, alcohol is for me, it has been a poison.
Yeah.
But it's not. If my partner Erin does not have a problem with alcohol, so I know there are people that exist that can enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the people I want here that can relax and
And
maybe
then
have a cup
people
or
like
two.
me that I have one margarita and I'm on the floor. So I tend not to drink. And when I do, we'll go out to dinner. I'll have one.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then we go home.
Yeah.
Because then Lori's going to bed.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a cheap date.
Yeah.
But yeah, sanctuaries are, I think, vital in the healing process. I think everyone should have a space, whether that's even a chair in the corner of your house.
For me, it had to be in me first. You gotta, that's just my own take. For everybody, it's different. But to me, first, before you even find your physical sanctuary, before you even find it, you gotta get inside yourself and literally, you gotta visualize it within yourself.
Manifestation, baby.
Because that way it goes with you everywhere. If it's in you first, it will never leave you.
Because you could literally be sitting on a bus,
Yes.
close your eyes, and you have your inner sanctuary.
When I'm in my
right there.
dentist chair and he's poking me,
Amen.
I'm sitting here with Lori. I'm sitting here in my backyard when I'm actually in the dentist chair. But it takes practice.
It does.
But then you may find it will reveal itself in your actual life. You'll find that, at least that's what my experience was.
Same.
It like dissolves into your reality if you do it enough.
Yeah.
But it is a practice. It's not easy. If it's difficult for you, it means you're probably doing it right.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it comes easy, sometimes it doesn't. There's some days where I can go right to my sanctuary in my mind's eye. There's some days I can just do it. And then there's other days I'm like,
Yeah. It's a journey. Right? With no destination. Someone asked me that yesterday after meditation. She was asking me questions about some of the crystals, and I was kind of banging out the answers, and she's like, what about this one? I was like, oh, actually, let me look that one up because I can't remember. And she's like, oh, you don't know them all?
oh, geez.
And I'm like, hell no.
I just did a whole wall full of information. I literally sat there and took all the crystals in my shop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what do I have the most of? It's like 50 of them, 50 varieties, and you know, maybe like one of each. But I made a wall of information, like rose quartz, this, what chakra, what this, because I can't remember.
It's too much.
And then there's like how many different kinds of agate, how many different kinds of jasper, how many different kinds of quartz.
Yeah,
good Lord,
it's too much. I can't. I don't remember them all. There's no way. And I'm a person that I'm a list person. I write everything down. I can't remember why I walked into the kitchen. You think I'm going to remember 800 crystals and what their numbers are and their properties and where they're grown? And
I think the trick now is the color. I'm like, what color is it? That's where I start. What color is it? Doesn't always mean it's going to be something.
We were talking about a pink amethyst piece that I picked up.
Sounds pretty.
It's gorgeous.
I love pink.
And she's like, I didn't know those existed. And I'm like, yeah, I was today years old when I found out about pink amethyst. And I'm 54. You know, it's like, I don't know everything. And I will never claim that I know everything. I'm constantly learning. So, you know, I learned something today. I learned something about this the history of this land. You know, and I think we need more stuff like this, more listening, more learning, more being open to learning other people's ways, cultures. You know, instead of being mad about everything, like, let's learn and embrace each other's uniqueness. Like, we need to have more of this in the world, people. There's so much hate. Imagine if you turned all your hate and anger into love and hope and joy.
Are saying, let's give peas a chance.
Yeah.
Like peas, like green peas. They taste really good.
My husband will disagree. He hates peas. But peas, P-E-A-S, peas.
Yeah, it would be great to, you know, if any of your listeners stay tuned.
Our listeners.
Our listeners, you're right. Our listeners. stay tuned, and they could come be a part of whatever I got going on here with you and Mystic Market.
Yeah, absolutely.
The more people, the better. It's about.
I'm down.
It's like I said, the land wants it. The land likes people. The land is happy.
The land. Oh, I'm not a singer.
You can be.
I can't. I don't want to scare people away. I think
You're
I
gonna
am.
sing Land of the Lost.
I think I'm the most amazing singer in the car when I'm alone. But one time, I wanted to see if I really was an amazing singer, so I recorded it and I quickly deleted it. I was like, I can't carry a tune to
You
save
do it
my
over
life.
and over again. You just gotta do it. That's the trick. You just do it over and over again.
And I know there's like special ways to hold the throat and
You
stuff.
can do it.
Definitely not doing it right because my throat will hurt after, and I'm like, I'm definitely like
Do the
straining
exercises.
something in there.
I'm telling you, if you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing.
Yeah.
How many times I've listened to myself and I hate it and I have to listen to it over and
No,
over and
you
over
at
and over.
least you can carry a note.
Yeah, but I have to get. The only way I get there is to sing it over and over again.
I tried to carry a note and put auto tune. I'm like, yeah, I'll help it. And auto tune is even like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, there's some people I know. I know several musicians, several vocalists. Like you hand them a song, they can sing it, knock it out of the park. I actually need time to practice it, and then I can do it.
Yeah.
But I can't just. Very rarely can I just pick up a song and sing
You know
it right.
that Cher song that's really
Do
auto-
you believe in love
Yeah.
after love?
That's like kind of what I sounded like, but way worse. And no, I'm not knocking Cher. I just don't like all that auto tune stuff. I don't know.
Feel something inside me, sir.
I mean, Cher can sing. Okay, don't get me wrong.
She's
but
an acquired taste.
she is.
She's
but,
not bad, but she's an acquired
But
taste.
all that auto tune, like, don't even sing, because
Well, it's become its own instrument. It's
my
become its
whole
own.
my whole song would be auto tune.
Yeah.
And it would sound terrible. It would sound like that awful, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, you can make it a club song.
I'm gonna have to cut that out so we don't get sued.
They did indeed cut that part out.
I don't think you got to worry about it.
Yeah. So, anyways, sanctuaries.
Another episode.
Sanctuaries. We've without getting off topic again, but I'm gonna.
We kind of did,
So we got off
but it's
topic,
okay.
but
It happens
yeah.
all the time.
We always, this is the thing about us is we come in with an idea and then we're all over the place, but it all ties in somehow. I think at the end of the day,
Well, you're here. You're in it with me. You're in the sanctuary.
in the sanctuary.
I guess it all depends on how you define it for yourself. Like, there's obviously sanctuaries, legit sanctuaries. Like when I go to churches, there's the sanctuary, there's statues and,
Right.
places for sacrifices.
Well, what did you
and-
say? This was sacred land. You said, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yes.
this is
Yes.
like the definition
Yes.
of sanctuary in.
It's like nature's church,
It is.
That's what I see.
But I think, because of all of the history with, Native American culture too, you have to be respectful of the land on that level. And I think a lot of people forget that.
Well, we don't allow any hunting here. And that's probably the best we can do. Like I do value that when I see deer, there's a mother and her 2 fawns that come here every afternoon.
Yeah.
A couple times a week I see them, and I've seen the babies grow.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful that they can come and be on this property and know
Yeah.
that they're not going to get hunted.
Yeah,
And I don't know what that has to do with Native American culture other than Aaron and I don't have a driveway because we don't want to disrespect the land. Everything we do, our kitty litter is all biodegradable. Like everything is by the land. So
But,
I mean,
I'm not opposed to hunting if they're using the
oh
animal.
yeah, no, I don't have a problem with hunters.
What I have a
I-
problem with is those big game hunters that
Yeah.
go to these places.
Right.
That's the whole purpose.
Is you get a big lion or something?
Yeah, like
no.
that. No way.
If there's any hunters out there, please know I don't mind hunters. I appreciate hunters.
If hunters are out there killing for
yeah,
food,
game
for
you know.
I'm against big game hunting.
Big game.
Big game hunting is
I guess
when
I
they
don't know
go
what
out.
the definition really.
So big game hunting, and maybe I'm wrong too, is they just go out for fun to
they
kill.
go to kill like big rhinos and
elephants and stuff.
When I say game here, it is. I still think they're still hunting. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe I don't know.
I don't
game.
think you should go out and kill something just
For
because
fun.
you can.
Right.
if you're going to go out and kill something, you better be eating the meat.
Yes.
Using the skin.
Yes,
and the bones and
Right.
everything that goes with that animal.
Right.
Not just because you're a big dude with a gun.
Right.
Like, cut it out. Stop it.
Well, I guess I just don't want it here.
Yeah.
You know, when I lived in Mason, I remember running around the woods and finding the leftover parts of deer from hunters. I would find the hooves and the antlers, and my dogs would find them and bring them into the yard. And so I'm very familiar with that. I don't know why they would do that, but my dogs would drag it into the yard. Yeah. So here it's like, this is going to be the one area in this town where you can't hunt.
It's a sanctuary for all beings.
Yes, it's not
to be happy and free.
Right. So when I see the deer, I'm like, yes, we're all in this together, so to speak. I'm not going to hunt you and your babies.
right.
And that's probably why they feel comfortable coming here. They go hang out by the compost. You know, they eat my flower pots.
Oh, dear.
I have footage of me.
See what I did there?
I have footage of me being like all misty-eyed. I'm like, oh, look at the deer. And then she walks up and starts chomping on my impatiens.
And you're like, damn you,
you bitch. Spent 3 months growing those, and she just walks up, chomp. But yes, it is very much like a Disney movie here.
It is.
So please come be a part of it. Be a character, be an observer.
And we will, we'll coordinate and work out the details. And once we have that figured out, again, it's probably not going to be till 2025.
Right.
Realistically.
Yeah, because this place, I can't do anything in the winter.
Yeah.
It's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah. So realistically, something will happen here, but not till next year. And of course, we'll let everybody know. But I want to thank Kate for inviting me to her special sanctuary. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here. And again, if you normally just listen, have a peek through the video, because I'll be putting photos and little video snippets up during the video. So
and like I said, if you want to see any intimate moments of me in my own home, just follow my page, Darling Hill.
Yeah,
and you'll see me playing with the cats, and
I'll link it the link in the description. So, if you guys want to chime in and talk about your sanctuary, please feel free to leave us comments. We love the interaction with the community, so don't be shy. Interact with us.
And I also want to thank some of your, I know that I've met some of these people through you, and some of them have been sharing my content. And so if they're listening, I want to thank them as well. I think Carmen shared some things. I know Michelle shares stuff. So I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing Purrs of Nature content as well.
Thank you. Well, again, thank you, Kate, for inviting me to
Thanks for coming.
Your beautiful space.
Thanks, everybody.
And we might be taking a little break with the podcast.
Yep. I know this will be my last one for a couple weeks.
Yeah. So
probably right when the holidays start coming, we'll be back.
Yeah. We'll probably have one maybe for Yule.
Yeah. Is this going to come out for the Bizarre Bazaar? I'm having an event. It
will.
October 26th at Purrs of Nature. We're going to have the New Hampshire Paranormal Group meet and greet. There's going to be a meet and greet with Saltaire Studios, a friend of mine. I have Ethereal's a tattoo artist. She's doing oracle readings, charm castings, costume contests. Place next door to me is going to do dog costume contests.
Oh, cute.
So October 26th, if you got nothing going on, from 10 to 8 at Purrs of Nature.
Yeah, I'm going to pop in. I'm
you have a workshop?
I'm not a vendor there because I have a workshop at my own studio from 1 to 3. It's going to be a Samhain jar spell workshop.
You could do both.
You can, because mine starts at 1, Kate's starts at 10, so you could pop on over at Kate's.
You could come after, because I go till 8.
Or there you go. So I'm just right smack in the middle, which is why I'm not a vendor at her event. Otherwise, I would.
But we're so close to each other. If you want to make a day of it, grab your girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever.
And next year, I will plan better, and so I can be part of Kate's.
Oh, you've had your hands full this year.
Event. It's been kind of a crazy year. And we just got a new puppy. I'm insane. Heimdall is his name.
I love it.
Heimdall
Congratulations.
is, in Norse mythology, he is a god of, I'm paraphrasing, so don't anyone freak out if I don't say it correctly, but he is a god in Norse mythology, and he is the guardian of Rainbow Bridge.
Oh.
And where we had so much loss last year, we thought that was an appropriate name. So, because we feel like Nala sent him to us. Yeah.
And my Leia.
I know.
I wonder if he saw her.
So that's Leia's her kitty that she lost. This
Yeah,
year.
yeah, she's right over there. You can say hi.
But you lost her this year, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, but she's right there. She's right beyond that hammock. So I don't feel like she's gone anywhere.
Yep.
She's still here.
Her spirit's here in your beautiful sanctuary.
Yes.
All right. So we again will be taking a little break with the podcasts, but we will reconvene probably around the time of Yule, which is in December.
Yeah.
So.
Have a good life, listeners.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the other side.
Follow us on our social media platforms, and until next time, live, love, and magic. Woo-hoo.